The Gladiators had a great Season 2, and they come into Season 3 looking for the same results, if not better, after a defeat to the Titans and shock, two eventual finalists knocked them out of the playoffs. So coming into the season, they made quite a big roster overhaul, and we'll see if that can be enough to get them to the finals this year, or even make it just a deeper playoff run than last year. So first off, they lost a lot of players, like a lot of the big personalities and stuff. Since October, Roar, Hydration, Rippa, Decay, Surefour, Void, and Panker all left for different teams at different times and stuff. And that's a lot of players. Like, that's a big part of your roster. After having such a successful season, they finished top 5. I think they went 17-11, if I remember. Let me check that quick. But anyways, obviously some of those players are huge fan favorites, and that's going to be maybe a bit of like a notch to their not to their personality, but their popularity. Because the people they brought in, a lot of them aren't really big names besides Birdring. But anyways, we'll get to that in a minute. They did finish 17-11 last season, and the thing, of course, that everybody looks at is Stage 4 once they actually put in 2-2-2. And they went 4-3, so not too bad, but it was obviously enough to break the stage playoff cut, but not exceptional, if that's what the new season's going to be about. So they did make some roster changes, so who knows how that'll affect the new meta and everything. The players they brought in, Birdring, Mirror, and Jaru are the 3 DPS they brought in, so they won't have a single DPS left over. They brought in Paintbrush as support, and Bishu and LH Cloudy as the tanks. So getting into what they kept, Space and OGE, I think that's solid 2 tanks. Lots of talk about OGE this season, lots of hype about him, and I believe it was Plat Chat. They said it was going to be the year of OGE, and so I think, as always, everybody always thinks he's a good tank and that he has potential. So I think coming this season, he can improve upon last year. I think he was really good. I think he could be one of the best in the league. Space, I rate 2, really solid. Big Goose and Shaz as well, another super consistent 2 players, solid backline. I don't think they're gonna have any problems really. Those 4 players, your 2 supports and 2 tanks they kept, I think they keep. I don't see them really changing any of that, even with the players they brought in. I think that's just a solid lineup, and I think those 4 players are a huge part of what got them to 5th place last season. So I don't see them changing that, and that's great for them. Shaz and Big Goose, of course, still there from Season 1, which is really cool. Space and OGE, I don't think either of them are going to get much bench time over Bishu and LH Cloudy. Bishu, he was with the Gladiators in Season 1 and Season 2, but I don't know if he played that much really. I really don't remember. But either way, now in 2-2-2, I don't see him starting over any of the other guys. So at least he's a good backup if you need him. And every now and then, if they want to switch somebody out, like for specialties on characters and stuff. And then DPS is where it gets interesting, obviously, because they got rid of all their DPS. Surefour's gone, Decay's gone. Both, though, I thought were pretty good. Hydration's gone. And so, yeah, you have Birdring, Mirror, and Jaru. I think there was some drama going on with Birdring this offseason, and there's some worries about him off of the video game screen, I guess. Like, I was going to say off the field, but that doesn't really work in video games, I guess. But just him kind of like being, I guess, like a bit of a drama queen and disrupting the team. And so we'll see how that affects them. Because it's always risky when you have such a solid team and then you bring someone in who could disrupt them. Obviously, it doesn't mean they can disrupt them. Sometimes people change or just don't, find as many issues with the people. So there's always a chance he won't ruin everything. I think he's a solid DPS player. I think he'll be starting for these guys almost all the time over Mirror. And I think Jaru will be the other DPS. Jaru, he had a really good 2019 with Team Envy in Overwatch Contenders for NA West. They got first twice, and then they got second in the Atlantic Showdown, but then kind of lost in the Gauntlet in the 7th and 8th spot. So that wasn't a bad year at all for him in Contenders. I think he can come up and be a pretty decent DPS in this league. Put him along Birdring when Birdring's playing his best. I think that's a pretty solid DPS lineup, and combine that with Shaz, Big Goose, Space, and OGE, and then Birdring, Jaru. I think that's a pretty solid lineup, and I think they could do just as well as last season. Because they went, 17-11 again, 5th place. That's a pretty high position. There's some good teams in this league, because it's close. But I think they can definitely get top 5, which is exciting because I think they're a fun team to watch. It's weird though, because they have a lot of new roster pickups, but they aren't really changing much At least I don't expect them to. But they are definitely a solid team, and there's a lot to look forward to if you're a Gladiators fan. Yeah, I mean, I'm like struggling to find out what to say here. I'm trying to talk about some of the new players, but I don't think Paintbrush is going to do anything. He had a pretty miserable 2019 and 2018 with Mayhem Academy. He hasn't gone higher than 5th place, except for the one time in 2019 Season 1. He got 3rd through 4th, so the semifinal finish. But since then, you have to go back to February of 2018. So yeah, I think he's going to be bench player basically. I think it's honestly going to come down to a lot of the talk about Birdwing, and I think OG is a pretty big personality, right? Like, people talk about him being a bit of a problem maker every now and then, but if he can have a big year, and Birdwing can have a big year, that'll be huge. Shaz and Big Goose solid, and I think they can get top 5. I don't know if they'll get 17 wins and 11 losses. That's because if we go through their stage by stage results, they went 4-3, and then they went 6-1, and then went 4-3, 4-3. So that's only one stage, really, that was exceptional. And everything else was average. And so I think they could probably improve upon those 4-3 stages to go 5-2 consistently, even if they don't have that big 6-1 stage. But it's definitely possible they could. And so I think it's interesting to see, there's a big, big change in this team, but everybody's still rating them really high. And so I think it's going to be cool to see how a lot of these, if any of these new rosters come in and make a big difference. Obviously, like I said, I think only 2 of them will really get much playing time, but that'll be interesting. So everybody, I've been Emrat. The season starts soon, and thanks for watching.